welcome to What the Fuck is Heroes of the Monkey Tavern. To start with, I'm going to go into my options. Oh, it's actually remembered my settings. I actually played a little bit of this, got to a point where, let's just say I've reinstalled the game. We can actually pick up our game. This is a really simple dungeon crawler. I'll let you watch the intro.
Every story has a beginning. Ours begins in a tavern. The Monkey Tavern. Where four heroes, yes, four great heroes, are spending their money. A few days ago they were rich. But it was a few days ago. Now they even have to sell their precious equipment to keep the party going. Until there is nothing to sell. And then comes a man who will change the turn of this masquerade.
Hey guys, I heard your stories. You seem to be four strong heroes who could accept something challenging. Because I know a place where you will find tremendous treasures. But I have to warn you, they're all terrible.
But our heroes do not bother to talk anymore. They thirst for adventure.
That guy sounded like Ghost from the original Shadow of Chernobyl. Random Tavern guy and the nod to Idle Beholder 3, which was ominous enough. Like we needed something to take a nod to that game. So party creation is very simple. I'm just showing you what you can do. You've got a number of very, very straightforward classes. You pick them. You can't even name them. It's that simple. You don't get to name them, fortunately. Can I back out? No. Okay, well then fine. We'll just max everything out. Just throw it all into Vitality because I'm going to be loading the party that I created anyway. Alright. Now can we quick load? Okay. 49, that one. So, this is the party I'd created. Aurelia, Herbert West, Lyra, Mr. Blackwell. The first thing I noticed with this game is you don't have the ability to map your own controls. You've only got WASD, which you can get the hang of. It's graphically a really good game. I should mention this was released in September 2016 by Monkey Stories. I don't know if they've released anything else. This game has had a lot of promise. Using the past tense, because this does not end well. It's really pretty. It's almost up there with the original Legend of Grimrock in terms of aesthetics, which, given it's a grid-based dungeon crawler, you can only do so much with that. You can really only do so much with that. Movement is a bit laggy. If anyone's played Idle Beholder 3, that level of input lag, I don't know if you can hear my keystrokes. I'm tapping twice. That second step isn't registering. If you want to move, you have to sit there and wait. You go tap, 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 tap. You can't just spam them. I can't imagine how speedrunners don't go insane with this. I'd really like to actually look at a speedrun of this. That's something I'm going to do after I finish recording this, is look up a speedrun. Rum is rum flavored. This is new. I don't think I've been this way yet. I ended up actually rage quitting this game. This is a new area. Can't do anything with anything here, but this is a new area. Oh, for Christ's sake. Combat! This is the next thing I'm going to talk about. Combat is interesting. Because combat, if you run from someone, can we get back to the square room? If you run from somebody, you take damage as if they hit you anyway. So you can flank them, but if you move out of that square immediately in front of them, you take a shitload of damage. Which is a mindfuck when you're trying to strafe around multiple enemies. As you can see, we're already virtually dead. And that's actually the thing that broke the game for me, was that particular mechanic. Really enjoying it. I'm on level 3 for God's sake. It's not a big game, it's not a hard game, and little touches like this just make it even sadder to leave behind, because, I mean, the music is great. Aesthetically, what more can you ask for a game that cost me, I think, $5 on Steam sale? You just look at the way you go up the stairs and everything. Grimrock didn't do that. You can interact with the things on the walls. Admittedly, I've already triggered the thing that they did, and I don't want to spoil too much. It's a really pretty game, which with a little bit of polish and fucking that fleeing mechanic all the way back to hell where it belongs, would have been an amazing game. Would have actually been a let's play. I had recorded about an hour and a bit of a let's play of this, when I got to the point where the tanking was just too much. Trying to navigate the lag on the strafing on the key inputs, combined with the flea damage, was enough to put me off. If you think you are up to it, then by all means you are going to really enjoy this game. A short sword, I don't know why I've just left that on the floor. I've been here before. Maybe I just ignored it, or what? I mean, the potion quick slots are good. Your spells, you can change your spells by dragging and dropping. I can even dual wield death magic if I get... Well, no, I can't dual wield death magic because apparently I still have a cooldown. Lyra's got 2 weapons because she leveled up and unlocked ambidexterity. Level up is really simple. The weapons, you find regular upgrades for your gear. Make sure when you roll a party you've got 2 people that can use armor. I didn't look closely enough and thought that having a cleric in my front row would be good, and then realized later on that he can't actually use armor. Yep, I failed. It's a really pretty game. I really enjoyed it up until that point. A more patient gamer would really enjoy this, and so I instead of just deleting every trace of this, I ended up reinstalling it because I did want to look at it still. I wanted to show, hey, here is a dungeon crawler that does something a bit differently, not differently to my taste. I am not a patient man. I don't play games in my off time to sit and what feels like stare at a random number generator until it decides to fuck me a little bit less. But other gamers wouldn't think twice about that, I know. Mail, for example, his link is in the recommended channels on my main page. He's an incredibly patient gamer, and he rocks the dungeon crawlers. Maybe even someone like 42% health, again, a paragon of patience and tolerance for game jank. But not me. I am not such a gamer. As you saw, I don't even have the patience to sit and tank one of those pikemen. And this is where I hit a roadblock. I could tank up until this level, but then that strategy doesn't work, and I wasn't patient enough, and so I'm admitting my faults and consigning this to a simple brief showcase as a game that I do recommend to other people. Check it out for yourself. Maybe wait till it's on Steam sale. Because there are some really clever puzzles in this. So again, for $5, I got a lot more than what I was expecting. And if there is a patch at any point that fixes things like the lag, or gives you an option to turn off fleeing damage, I'll come back and I'll let's play this with pleasure. But for now, I am gonna see what happens when we die. Actually, I don't know what happens when we die because I'd inevitably just quick load each time. So we're gonna find something that's gonna face roll us, and that's how we're gonna sign off. If I can stop walking up the same corridor. Right, so maximum movement speed is achieved just by holding the key down. Unfortunately, I guess I can make the lag work for me insofar as if I can take my finger off the key at the right time, then it stops me propelling myself forward, so at least I don't whack my face into a wall Dungeon Master style. This was the room that I just noped. Just a random fucking short sword. And the thought of just getting spit roasted by these guys, just nope. I mean, if that's your thing, I don't kink shame. If that is your thing, then power to you. Oh, for God's sake. And healing. Healing is merciful in this game too. We'll heal, we'll put up a fight, but this doesn't end well for us. We'll run out of mana. See, Blackwell's out of mana. Now there goes Blackwell. And I don't know what happens when we die, unfortunately. And not just in the grander philosophical sense. Oh, yay. I don't think I've been poisoned a fair bit. Poison is actually something that a cure poison spell would be useful for. But we can't flee from this or we'll take a full hit. Everything hits with an AoE, I've noticed. If you look next time he lands a hit, it will land on everybody. And I am not a huge fan of this. With these attacks, it actually makes a bit more sense. If everyone's standing in a row, see, if everyone's standing in a row, it kind of makes sense that he'd hit them all in a row. You can stretch logic that far. But some of these enemies are things like snakes, and believing that that little snake mouth is biting all four of these burly adventurers that we just heard stories about all at once, it just feels cheap. And now I survived that fight. Oh well, there are plenty of other things that are going to nom on my face. Where was that spider? I mean, your health regenerates pretty fast. What's through here? So we've been this way. Hardcore mode. I found a fountain on the last level which might res dead party members. But I clicked on it and it didn't tell me anything about it other than giving me an achievement, so I don't actually know what that does. And of course we have the obligatory spider. And there's that poison. Of course, again, if we flee, we do that. I mean, in theory, if you're, like I said, if you're patient enough and you can stay at your enemy's flank, then that's okay. But in an encounter with multiple enemies, that would get infuriating when you have to keep track of wherever everybody, not just where everybody is, but really pay attention to where everybody's facing, because the sheer fact that they're facing you will result in damage. Do we want to load the last save game? No. So that was Heroes of the Monkey Tavern, a game that, with a little bit more polish, and removing one, or giving me the option to turn off one really fucking annoying mechanic, I would be let's playing the hell out of. It's not a very long game. How long to beat puts it at between 1.5 to 9 hours, depending on your playstyle, or in my case, probably a few years, because, yeah, this is where I'm calling it. But I encourage people to check it out. Don't pan a game just because one cranky Australian on YouTube has said, oh, I didn't like this, and shakes his fist angrily at the cloud like Abe Simpson. Don't pan it based on that. Play it for yourself. Wait till it's on sale. Check it out, because it is an enjoyable game if you can apply your brain and make those mechanics work for you. I'm not that person. I admit my limitations, but I hope other people enjoy it. Until whatever I do play next, though, cheers.